Welcome back. In the previous step, we updated the calculate sum using data service basic method to use a stub. Right? The exercise that we talked about was updating these two to use a stub as well. I hope you had a chance to think about how to do it and also try to implement it as well. One of the most important things is all these three tests need different data. So one of the options is to make the same step to return different data based on the scenario. Or the other option would have been to create different stubs. So you can call this some data service stub, and you can call another one as, let's say, some data service. I can create empty stub returning nothing, an empty array, and I could have created another one saying some data service with one element stub, right? And I would have returned 5 back. So over here, it's empty stub, and over here, I can use the one element stub, right? So now, if I run this, what would happen? It would succeed because now I have 3 different stubs which are returning 3 different pieces of data. It would succeed. But think about this. Is this a good approach? Is this maintainable? Right? Typically, when we talk about interfaces, they'll not just have one method, right? So they'll have multiple methods present in there. And in a test, you might be wanting data only for a specific thing. So if you keep creating stubs like this, you would have hundreds of stub classes. And the other thing is maintaining these stubs would also be a little difficult. Let's imagine a scenario where somebody comes in and adds in a new method to the sum data service. So somebody says, okay, now this is fine, but I would want to be able to do something on the database, and I would want to be able to say retrieve specific data. What would happen? So there's a new method in the interface. What would happen? All your stubs would have compilation errors. Now you need to start updating the stubs to implement this new method, right? That's not really cool. Stubs are a big headache to maintain. And the other thing is, when you look at the data stub, you do not know exactly what the data it's returning. So you need to do a little bit of analysis. Okay, some data service stub is returning 1, 2, 3. And some data service empty stub is returning, okay, empty array. And so on and so forth. You can try and counter that problem by giving a good name to your stubs. But it's easy to give names to simple stubs, but as stubs become more and more complex, it becomes very, very difficult to give it a very good name. So these are all typically the problems in using a stub. And that's where mocking comes into picture. So instead of creating a direct class like this, instead of creating a specific class like this, with mocks, you can programmatically create classes. Let's investigate that in the next step. Until then, bye-bye.